Hey guys, Coaching for the Soul, Thursdays at 3 has begun. I'm back on the iPad. We took a look at the iPad. We don't know what was wrong. So hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm hoping. So we'll see who pops on. I'm just a couple minutes late. I just got done with the session. So yeah. So we'll see. Hey Susan, how's it going? I am fantastic. How are you? Yep, I'm good. Hi, Kathy. What's up? Hi, Liz. Did you do the master class last night, Liz? Hey, Shay. Hello, Adrian. How are you? Hey, Joe. What's up? Hi, Chrissy. How's it going since we just last talked? Good. Things are good. Yep, things are good. Hey, Kimberly. Yeah, things are good. To the May 1st one. Hi, Heidi. I've been thinking about you. How's everything going at work? Yeah. So, whoops. Okay. I'll bet you are. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so, Heidi. Sorry. It's been like a couple weeks and I kept seeing, Heidi, things like that. So, Liz, don't wait. You need to do that as soon as possible. Okay? To get some time. Really? Hi, Shannon. Yeah. So Heidi, Spirit says stand up for yourself. Yes, the May one. And then do, again, but do the, there's something to listen to beforehand or something like that, that's on that page that she posted, okay? It really helps. To do the pre-work, it definitely helps, okay? Yep. So, okay. First thing we're gonna talk about, because it's already 6 minutes after. I think it's 6 minutes after. 5 minutes after, okay. And he wants to talk about this thing first. Okay, so, okay. If any of you have small, hey Blake, what's going on? If any of you have small children, okay, Spirit has been on this quest about the past week or so, where because of the switch in energy, and those of us who are older or who like moms and dads and things like that, we're feeling the energy shift, and we don't know, and our bodies don't know what it is. Again, talking out loud and telling ourselves, right, by name, what's going on, which helps, right? But because your children, Spirit, yeah, your children don't know why you're acting differently, why you're more frustrated, why you're more tired, why you're more anything. And what that means is you're giving them energy blowback. Either you're yelling at them or you're acting inappropriately with them or whatever. And Spirit says you need to take that back. It's yours, not theirs, okay? And you need to start talking to your children on their level, okay? As we move into fourth dimensional energy and beyond, right? Understanding that is a soul who's been here before inside that little body. And if you try to dominate it, it will push back or it will pull in. Okay? Hi, Jody. Okay? So understanding that that if you spank your children, if you spank them, if you yell at them continuously, or you yell at them with the wrong tone of voice, which you shouldn't yell at all anyway, right? It's your frustration, not theirs. Understanding that they know who you are, number one. Number two, because they've known you before. Number two, it's a little old soul in that body. It's been here before. It just can't say what it needs to say. You don't respect it because you're still a child. No, that's a grown soul in that little body right there. The human doesn't know until they get older, right? Right? And they start to grow up to be the person they're supposed to be only with your negative influence or your positive influence, right? As we move into third, fourth, and fifth dimensional energy, we have to be the ones who control our stuff, who control our energy, who control what comes out of our mouth, as it does when we're children. I mean, I know back in the day when I was a child, my mother said, "Who do you think you're talking to?" So many times it's crazy. Well, I was the older soul in the house, right? I'm talking to you, and I've known you for 4,000 years. I didn't know that at the time, right? So understanding, like I just talked to a person earlier today who is the youngest soul in the house. All her children are older than her. And she wonders why they don't listen. Well, they don't listen to you because you got to get down on their level, look them in the face, because they need you to respect them. You can't make it, again, understanding that child was here before, right? And if their soul journey is to challenge you to be more loving, hold your stuff better, be more conscious, guess what? That's what you got to do. Because Spirit has talked about before that you should act like your mother and your father because they didn't know anything, because we know so much more, right? Understanding that if you berate your children, if you tell them they're fat, if you tell them they're ugly, if you tell them they're blah, 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 all the negative stuff that we have heard over lifetimes, not just this lifetime, over lifetimes, right? Which our ego has all grabbed, okay? If they came to this lifetime knowing their mother and their father and their circumstances, but you don't know their circumstances, right? Because you don't know their soul journey. It's about you. It's about you being more conscious, you understanding that the last thing that you want to do is indoctrinate your children to be afraid, to indoctrinate your children to not be loving, indoctrinate your children to be angry or hateful, right? Remembering that we internalize everything that happens to us. Hi, Amanda. Everything, right? We internalize it all. And then we're 13, 14 years old, if we're not allowed to express it, right? Then 13, 14 years old, when we grow up, right? When we mature, all of a sudden what comes out of our mouth, and our parents will be like, "Oh my God, who do you think you're talking to?" "I'm talking to you," right? You've been screaming in my house for the past 13 years, 14 years. Your frustration, but I can't really, again, as a 13-year-old, you can't really say that, right? Because you don't really know what it is. You have to understand that once they can articulate it, it normally comes out as smart ass. Smart mouth. Of course it is. Do you remember when I was 2.5 and you blah, 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 blah? No. You don't either when you're 13, 14 years old. You just know that you feel towards that person when they get that energy that I don't like you very much. Doesn't matter if you're like me. I'm your father. Huh? So third dimensional, right? It's understanding that. It's understanding that you cannot teach or treat your children the way you were treated. Because it was third dimension the way you were treated back in the day. The children that are here now are here with the exclusive understanding that they will live and flourish in fourth and fifth dimension. And the last thing you want to do is not have your children with you, right? As they ascend, right? The unfortunate part is that they will be able to lose their baggage, that energy much quicker than we do. Right? They're set up to win, Spirit says. They're not set up to fail. Failing is third dimension. Right? So I would hate to have any of you who have small children, even if you have teenagers, right? It's time to change your energy so that so that you can remove as much as possible, Spirit says, of the damage that has been done. Like if they're 10, 11, 12, even if they're 16, 17, right? A change in mom and dad can make a world of difference. Right? Understanding that you have to be conscious all the time. Not only for yourself, but for your kids, but for the energy in your house. Right? Because the energy in your house is you. Right? Understanding that. No, we're not yelling and screaming and hollering anymore. See? I'm going to get down on my knees and have my child look at me, and if you've taught your children to feel bad when mommy yells, when daddy yells, and you're down on their level, you got to pick their chin up and go, honey, look, I'm right dead in the face. I love you so much, but you can't do that. No, you can't do that, honey. It doesn't work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work for you. And I love you very, very, very much. Hi, Laura. Right? They understand. When people say no, they'll never understand. They'll understand because there's an old soul inside that's been here before. They're not brand new souls. I don't think there's any brand new souls on the planet from what Spirit tells me. Right? There's one that just, again, it just keeps moving and grooving. Or I haven't read, I know. Spirit says, well, let's just say we haven't run into any in this lifetime. Okay? So being conscious, not only for yourself, for your children, and for the energy in your house. The dog will respond different. The cat will respond different. The bird will respond different. The goldfish will respond different. Right? Because energy permeates. Energy is everything. Energy is everything. It doesn't matter what. And I know. Spirit says, if it's negative, if it's a negative frequency, guess what? Everything in your life is going to be negative. If it's a medium, negative, positive, guess what? You're neutral. That doesn't help anybody out. But if you're positive frequency, positive energy, as much as possible. I mean, nobody expecting anybody to be perfect. It's about, you hear those chimes? It's about working on it and being conscious and not beating yourself up when you're not perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. Okay? But understanding that that's what we have to do to get the world to, that's what we have to do to assist the world in moving forward. Right? We have to. It's our job. Our job is to make sure that our children know that we love them. And that we understand that they're maybe older than us. Maybe they're the same age as us over lifetimes, right? Me being the $7,000 or $9,000 1,000-year-old Capricorn, right? Okay. But that still doesn't give me, if I did have children or grandchildren, right? Or young nieces and nephews, that I wouldn't do that now. And all I can say is, I did that with my youngest nephew, Ross. He was born in 1996. And I had, I had no idea why I did that. But I got down on his level, right? Look him square in the face, ask him what's wrong, why are you mad? Why are you upset? And he would try to explain it to me, and I would give him a hug and a kiss and tell him, Uncle Bill loves you very, very much, and he would stop crying. See? That's what we need to do to our kids, right? Because, hey, Suze, even if they don't perceive us, that
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
You guys hear that? I don't know what that comes from. I think it's from my I think it's from my laptop. It did it last night. So,
Sorry, I'm still not sure about that.
what is this? Okay. Now we'll see what happens. I think that's what it was, right? That's how, right? Just as I love the humor, trust me, it's a freaking circus in my head. Okay, we're gonna open the top again because this is what I lean my iPad on. Right? It's crazy. It's like, hey Haley, I didn't see you come in. Did I say something triggering? What? Right? See? It'd be funny if if the voice said, I agree. That would just be like, are you kidding me? Wow, yeah, see? So, I can't stop laughing because it's just hilarious. I mean, Lee freaks out when the iPad goes off. When, I won't say the person's name who does the iPad, right? And he'll be like, okay, what the hell is that? And I was like, it's just, yeah. Or who that is the dot, right? The echo dot, or the hell you want to call it. That happens all the time too. I didn't really get that. Leo be like, okay, now who's here? It's hilarious. So that's my house. Thank God the dog doesn't talk, right? So understand that the same way we treat our children, we have to treat our pets the same, right? I get right down in Bailey's face, I always have. And I don't know what he wants, and he's upset, or he's scared, right? Because my job, right, is to make sure that I make him okay because he's part of the pack, right? Same with the children. So it's super, super important, you guys, as we go through our journey, right? As we go through our ascension, as we, yeah, Kathy, right? If that happens, I'm gonna freak out. Kathy says, watch out, the dog is next. Which, if Bailey turns around and goes, Daddy, when we talk anyway, spiritually, right? Like, connected. But if he opened up his mouth and something came out of his mouth, I'd freak out. It'd be kind of cool. So understanding that when we go through our ascension, right? As we go through and out of 3D, which is already happening for most of us, right? That the transformation is going to make us frustrated when it comes to the little humans that are in our house, okay? Or our husbands, our wives, whatever, right? Because everybody's frequency is different at different times, right? So we have to understand that. We have to conversation about that with our partners, right? With our children. Understanding that some of your children will be older souls than you because you chose the soul journey to have those younger souls in your life. Why? To help you regulate, to help you be connected, right? To help you be challenged, but in a way to get you ready for the ascension. Get you ready to understand that when we get up here, when the energy's fabulously chill and we get everything that we want and we're just kind of hanging out, having a good time, Joe says students in the classroom, exactly. Understanding that that everything we want can be ours, right? And that we can do all these great things with our minds that we don't have to work for anymore. Physical labor will not be as important as it is now. See? And understanding that that's our destiny. That's why we chose to be here this time in our lifetime. See? So we have to be more and more conscious as we do ascension, right? About our energy, our frequency, how we treat our children, how we treat other people on the street, right? Right? How we treat how we treat our parents and our grandparents, right? Forgiving them because they didn't know. They didn't know. And you chose the journey to be born to that man and that woman to learn. As sucky as it was, right? And they're great, they're great mom and dad. I mean, I will never, trust me, they put up with a lot from me. And they love me no matter what. and they love me from spirit, right? I mean, they truly do. I feel it every day. It's like I'm all getting, my heart's all getting big right now because my mom and dad are here. And understanding that that it's okay because they didn't know, right? So understanding that, right? How about your children? How about your children? I don't want them to feel like I don't want, if I had children in this part, even if it was, gosh, I can imagine how horrible of a father I would have been 20 years ago because I wasn't this person, right? I was very selfish and things like that. But I wasn't supposed to have kids this lifetime, and I understand that. Do I wish I did? Definitely. Do I wish I had grandchildren? Definitely. I would love to be called dad. I would love to be called grandpa, papa, whatever. Be like, oh my God, this is fabulous. But it wasn't in my journey this lifetime. See? But for those of you who have children, right? Understanding that any of the damage that you did without knowing, you have to forgive yourself for. And you have to change the energy with your grown children. Right? Stop being the person who is nitpicky or over obsessive, wants to be in charge, too much fire, too much emotion, all the things that we can put on our that oh my God, your family's crazy. Well, yeah, they're crazy because they're third dimensional. And maybe that's when you have to remove yourself as you do your ascension. Many times as we move up the chain, right? As we go from 3D to 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, right? That we have to let things go in our life because it no longer serves us. Doesn't mean you don't love your family. I love my brother in Palm Beach. I love my sister in Denver. Yeah. Something happened to them, I would be crushed because they're my oldest brother and my younger sister. I'm in the middle. See? But doing that and saying that, it's like, do I want them to be around? No. No. And one might ascend a little bit and the other will not. And I feel sad for them, but it's not their soul journey this lifetime. Not who they're supposed to be. And accepting that, right? That it's not my job to save them. It's not my job to show them how much better it is. It's not my job to do any of that. My responsibility is to me. Who's the most important person in your life? You. Then your children, then your spouse. It's the way it is. Hear those chimes? It's the way it is. Spirit says, understanding your place, understanding your power, understanding who you are this lifetime. Right? If you're not connected to yourself, if you're not truly trying to be conscious, you're going to pay for it in the end, eventually, right? Because you're like, okay, how come everybody else is up there, and why am I down here living in this place of, oh my God, my life is so, ugh. Well, that's because they tried to be as conscious as they possibly could about the way that they speak to their children, about the way that they speak to their spouse, and also the way that their spouse speaks to them. What you allow, right? What you allow. And understanding communication. Even if the other person doesn't want to communicate, right? We have to communicate. Because as you get into fourth and fifth dimensional energy, guess what? That other stuff, that other energy is not allowed. That's third dimensional stuff, guys. Yep. So you just have to continue to try if they're resistant. Because people get resistant when they're in fear, right? Hi, Chris. Hi, Abby. She said they had a rough one last week. Yep, I'm telling you, you have to communicate. You have to communicate. Because again, guys, as our children are no more than us in fourth dimension, in fifth dimension, you don't want to be left behind going, what'd they say? What are they doing? How's that work? What the hell? Why are they up there? Why am I down here? Why don't they like to come to my house? They don't want to come to your house because it's too uncomfortable. It's too uncomfortable, you know? And their kids are too uncomfortable because grandma and grandpa are old fogies. Grandma and grandpa are blah, 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 blah. No, you need to allow yourself to ascend, right? That's what it's all about. That's your soul journey, you guys, or you wouldn't be born now. You certainly wouldn't be watching this broadcast. I mean, there'd be no way you'd be watching this broadcast. You'd probably be watching Fox News. Just saying, right? So understanding the fact that your soul journey is to ascend. Your soul journey is to change the narrative, Spirit says. Is to change the narrative in your head on what you believe to be true. Okay? Because we're all taught certain things. Even if they don't intend to teach us that, right? School teaches us stuff that they didn't intend to teach us, right? Every school in America does that. Every university does that. Then you got life that does that, right? And understanding that understanding that you cannot take your children's power away. And one great aspect of that is getting down and talking to your children in the face instead of on top of them, because you can't dominate them. You can spank their bottoms. You can do all the things you want to do. In fact, one of my readings today, her son said, "Mommy, I love you even when you spank me." Where's that come from? Right? It's what it's all about. And this child's 6. Right? So when he knows something and his mama doesn't know, that she needed to hear that. Right? So it's all about healing. About healing our past, about healing our childhood. Everybody has a horrible childhood. It doesn't matter who you are or what. Either you didn't get enough love or you got too much love. Right? You got too much stuff or not enough stuff. Good in school, not good in school, not good in school. All your soul journey, right? I was horrible in school. Horrible in school. And the blessing about my mother and father was they didn't make it a big priority. Kids are going to do what they're going to do. That was my mom and dad were very hands-off when it came to that. Because they would get frustrated, we would get frustrated if they tried to help us with school. No, not supposed to, right? Right? Because if you help your children with school and you do projects and you answer questions and you do blah, 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 you're setting your children up to fail. Eventually, right? Because they didn't have to understand what it's like not to know. And it's not even a and I know. Spirit says, and in real life, we fail every day. We just don't call that. We just don't call it that. Right? We don't get everything we want. Right? It depends upon how we react to it and what we've been taught and the energy in our house, if we talk about it or not. See? If we have a communicative family. I wasn't brought up that way. Well, guess what? Start now. Start expressing, again, why do you think Spirit wants you to talk out loud? To communicate. To open up that throat chakra, to open up that heart chakra, to open up every chakra you can possibly imagine, and let that stuff flow out of your freaking mouth. Chimes. That's what it's about. First step, it helps you with their ascension, right? Because you let energy out that you need to let out, that you may have been used to keeping inside of you over centuries, over millennial, Spirit says, right? Don't know. But it's about understanding that I have to be conscious of that. But again, you got to be conscious, right? Because you don't want to, hang on. You want to change the current narrative, Spirit says. Yep. Okay. And Spirit also said, if you can, have maybe Abby's. Okay, so this is what Spirit. So this is what Spirit is saying about your children. If you can at night when they're babies, right? When they're kids, not teenagers, because you got to get to them before then, right? And sometimes people will have done that, right? But the majority of them have not. Spirit says. When you tuck them into bed. So how was your day? Did you have right? Because they're getting ready to go to sleep. Usually they've wound down, right? And then we're apt to let you know how they feel. And those are the times that are most special. Okay? And why do I say that like that? Because adults can do that too. Before you go to bed, and I do this every night, okay, you do kind of a rundown. What you're grateful for, okay? Or maybe one that you do what I'm grateful for. The next day you do what I want. Again, as you're sliding into sleep, picture in your mind what you want. If it's a house on the lake, it's a house on the lake. If it's more money coming from the sky, or it's a big O check, right? From the lottery, let's say. Because as you go to sleep, you take that with you. I've been doing that forever, right? Just like your children at night. As they go to sleep with a clear heart, that I told my mommy and my daddy how much I love them, and they told me the same thing. That I told them Jeannie was mean to me at school today, and it made me really angry. Or I'm so glad I did so good on the test. Or whatever it might be, right? Maybe it's the fact that they're worrying about grandma out of the blue, right? Or the dog. You can calm their fears on that, right? Spirit says you don't have to be a psychologist to care. It's your energy. Balanced as possible, right? Taking the time to not, taking the time, the care of not sending your children to bed when you're angry. Urgent, right? So it's up to you. Even if you have a hurried day, you can't put that on your kids. That's you. Okay? I gotta be better with my time, right? Because your children don't understand. They don't understand. Again, it's about us, right? But us making sure that our children can unload at nighttime. Why? So that they don't carry that anxiety, that fear, that trouble into their teens and 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s. Right? Because we all have, right? Maybe we can solve the bad childhood situation. How do we change bullying? How do we change anxiety? Not just love, right? With understanding and energy, frequency, understanding that child has been born before. It's a reborn human, right? With all with all that entails, right? Hey, Marielle, right? And understanding that child has been reborn God knows how many times, maybe more than we have, right? And for us to take that time with that child and tuck them in and tell them, how was your day? Did you get enough to eat? Did you get enough to eat today? If they did, right? Did you get enough at school? Right? Was everything okay? Because they'll tell you. If you hit them with the right energy where their souls understand and their little humans understand this is sharing time, and bed's the perfect place. It truly is. Because as they waft off to sleep, right? They take that contentment, that security, and that love to sleep with them. See? And that's important. That's important. Exactly, Joe. Did you get enough love? Did you get enough love today? That's what it's about. Because then what you raise is loving, amazing, balanced children who I know, Spirit, I'm emotional inside. And they ascended to the fourth and fifth dimension with ease. It's our job, right? It's our job. I know. Spirit wants me to say, why do you think I do coaching for the soul Thursdays at 3 o'clock? To get all us humans, all us adults, right? To understand where we have to be, not only with ourselves, but our children and our partners, right? Have to be. We have to be prepared for that. It's about being conscious. We have to be conscious about our energy with other people, especially our family, our pets. I've said many, many times, when I walk out of that bedroom in the morning and Bailey has to go potty, and I am not in a loving, balanced, friendly mood, Bailey doesn't know what to do. Because I'm his alpha, right? I'm like, Daddy, I don't know what you want me to do because you scare me with your tone of voice or with your energy, with your abruptness. And I go, whoop, I got to pull that back because it's not his, it's mine. And a lot of times that happens in the morning for most people. Why? Because we've digested all the energy from the day while we're asleep, right? And understanding that. When we wake up in the morning, we may not feel fresh. Because I just went through all this junk that was thrown at me the day before, right? And some days are more fresher than others, depending upon the energy of the day before. Were we angry? Were we sad? Were we upset? Were we frustrated? Well, if that's the case, you're going to wake up the next morning feeling ugh, because your body has to release all that energy that's not yours, that you sucked up, or your ego, right, made a mountain out of a molehill. Frustration about the red lights. Frustration about the line at the Burger King, right? Frustration about the line at the grocery store. Frustration is a lot of what we have dealt with for the past year and a half, for sure. But even past that, right? But no one should be pressed for time, Spirit says, any longer. Got to manage your time better. Times. See? That's what COVID was all about. We've talked about that before, right? To strip everybody of their routine. Why do you think people don't want to go back to work? One of the reasons why. See? Because they like that. For the first time in their life, they're probably extremely happy that they don't have to. Their children don't have to. And their children are probably extremely happy. They don't want to go back to ballet. They don't want to go back to football. I just want to be a kid. Right? Because a lot of times we give our children everything that they want because we didn't have it, usually. Oh, you want to play football, Johnny? Okay, cool. And Susie, you want to do ballet? Okay, you want to be a ballerina? Okay, cool. Well, then we got to go to grandma's, and we got to da-da-da, and then we got to go da-da-da, we got to go here, we got to go, no, I just want to be a kid. But they don't know how to say that, right? We have to be the ones who go, okay, give me your cell phone, give me your tablet, go outside. From when they're young, right? Not using an electronic device to give us a break, Spirit says. It's not what it's for. See? Not to occupy their time. Because then what happens? They become more introverted. It's about me. It's about me. And I want that because then I can block out the energy in my house for my mom and my dad because they're not balanced or whatever. Okay. They like the colors. They like the action. They like whatever's going on there, right? But nothing's better than having your butt outside on a 75 or 80 degree summer day. Mom, I'm bored. Dad, I'm bored. I know you are. Climb that tree. Let's do something, right? Let's go to the grocery store and get watermelon. Let's go get ice cream, whatever it is, right? I remember those times with my mom and dad, like, oh my God, like they were yesterday. Because we didn't do a lot of those things. Didn't do a lot of those things. My mom and dad had children to go, be kids. And that's what we did, which is fine. So when we got something like that, either went to see the fireworks or they bought us ice cream or something like that, it was a big thing. But my mother and father did not want us to feel entitled, right? Did you have to work for what you have, right? That's very, very third dimensional. But they were third dimensional beings, right? So now we, as grown-ups, have to change that narrative in our head, change that narrative in our house, change that narrative in our lives, right? To get our children ready for fourth and fifth dimension. Because again, all the children that are born now chose to be here now for a reason. And we had very little to do with it, Spirit says. Very little to do about it. Britain, that's perfect. She takes a shower at night to clean up the dirty energy of the day. True. Yeah. See? And talk out loud when you're in there. Spirit, I'm stripping away all the dirty energy from today. Yep. Do that. Because it works. It truly works. Right? Understand, they believe that because we're in the water and the water hits our head if you're in the shower, it reminds us and it relaxes us of being the frog 5 million trillion years ago, whatever it was, right? Being chased by the cat. We jump in the water and we're safe so we can relax. They say that is a lot of why we feel so good in the shower, and then when we get out of the shower, is because we feel safe and secure because it's water and it hits our head. Yep. See? So that's what's so very, very important about when you're in the shower, that you have conversations. But what you're doing, if I'm taking off the energy of the day, the dirty energy of the day, I'm stripping away, all the garb, blah, blah, the junk in my head, okay? Or Spirit, I need to digest what's in my head. That does all spiritual energy. I need it to run through my body, through my feet. Right. See? Because that's important. That's self-care. That's being conscious. It's being conscious. See? And the more conscious you are, the more conscious your life is. The more conscious your children are. The more conscious your partner is. Your husband, your wife, whoever. Your horse, right? Your cows, the chickens, if you live on a farm, the ducks, whatever, right? Yeah. Because again, they understand energy. They don't understand words. They understand energy, just like your dog does. Yeah. Like your dog does. See? Because that's what's so important about being conscious and understanding that you are the conduit of energy in your house. Everybody is. But if you're the female, guess what? You are automatically the conduit in the house. Because that's the way that it's supposed to be. Okay? And us doing that, and us understanding that we have to be conscious of that, right? And people can say, oh my gosh, well, that's a lot of pressure. No, it's not. You just have to be more conscious, right? You just have to be more conscious. So Shannon says, I have a 19-year-old who seems deep in 3D. What does Spirit have to say about helping older children ascend? They will, Shannon, they will ascend, okay? But they will struggle like the one, your 19-year-old who is deep in 3D. Is it a male or a female? If he's a male, then that's more than likely because he's a guy, okay? And he will ascend because he's born at this time for a reason. He will not stay in 3D, Spirit says. If it's a female, then that's by choice. But again, they will also ascend. It just might be harder for them because, hey Carmela, because they don't understand it yet. But for men, she says he's male. So it's tough. It's tough. Guys will have a tough time, especially in America, ascending. Only the older guys, right? I mean, he's 19, but he learned in 3D, right? See? Well, that depends on his birthday, too. If he's an earth sign, he's a really old soul. Fire sign, kind of the same thing, where if he's an air sign or a water sign, he shouldn't have a problem at all. Eventually, he will just ascend. Usually, what spirits usually when they meet the female, okay. Shannon says he came in very awake. Yeah, he came in very awake. He's a Cancer, so that makes sense. But then society and the energy on the planet suppressed him. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. He'll get it. Okay? Understand, Cancers have the connection to the Capricorn across them in the zodiac, right? They have the connection to all the Capricorn knowledge and energy that Capricorn has. But they have a heart that confuses them, right? It's a dysfunctional heart, not understanding things. And Capricorn has ripped that baby out, millenniums ago because it didn't serve us, right? Cancer hasn't learned that yet, but he'll be okay. He'll be okay. Yeah, he'll be okay. He'll be okay. Give a hard time. Yes, Chris will have a hard time ascending. Okay. He believes who he is who he's supposed to be, and that will change. That will change as his children teach him different. As you tell him, you can't act like that. You can't do that. They don't deserve that, Chris. No, you have to. Spirit says not that you have to treat him like a child, and not to chastise him, but to say, look, that's not going to work. It's not going to work with him, and it's definitely not going to work with her. Shannon says her Sagittarius 17-year-old is very different. Exactly. Because he's older. That 17-year-old child is older in soul years. Yeah. Liz, you can't pull your children in. You can't. They'll dig their feet in the ground. You'll say, okay, I can't. I can't. I'll see if you get there. See you, bye. You will. They'll come. Because you can't make anybody grow, like Spirit says all the time, like Tammy said last night about, and it's so funny because we say this. It's so funny how connected, because, okay, Liz, yeah, okay, that we say a lot of the same things. It's very, 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 very cool how everybody will be at a different level of ascension all the time. Yeah. Kids, they may blow you out of the water. And usually they will. With what they're turned on to, with how things have changed, because understanding, guys, we are in the age of Aquarius, which will be in progress for a very long time. Because age of Aquarius is 4th and 5th dimension. Okay. Shay, where's Virgo on the soul age? Most Virgos are between 5.5 and 7,000 years old. Yes. Okay, so her partner seems to get pulled back into 3D. Well, first, if he's a guy, again, guys are more about what's safe, what I'm comfortable with, okay? And it takes the female to not talk to him about it, not bitch at him about it, right? It's about being the model. Yeah. Yep. So it's understanding that we can't make, again, they may be on a different ascension. They may be not going to ascend, but they do, right? If they're with somebody who's ascending, they're going to ascend a little bit if they're resistant with the grandchildren, with the adult children. Yeah. Because you don't care. Chimes, right? I just need to let all my stuff go, because you know what? It keeps me from my grandchildren. It keeps me from the children that I love. I need to apologize to my children. Not that they need to apologize to me because I'm the adult, I'm the grown-up, I'm the parent, right? Children should not need, unless it's something horrific, to their moms and dads. It's our job to take care of them. That's why we had them. That's why they picked us, right? That's why they picked us. You know, and understanding that. So, as the energy shifts continually, every day it shifts. Okay, as you move forward at a different pace, right? Some days it's really busy, some days it's really active, some days it's not. It's okay. It's okay. It's about being conscious and understanding for yourself and going, okay, today, I guess I'm not supposed to do anything. Maybe I'll do this instead, or maybe I'm like, no, I'm not going to do anything today. That's okay. It just can't be a pattern of not doing things for weeks, right? Right? It's about being conscious and going, okay, I'm exhausted. I can feel it because, again, the energy exhausts us. We're going through things our bodies have never gone through before. Human has never gone through. Understanding that, guys. Our bodies have never gone through fourth dimensional energy ever. Ever. In our life, like in the 12,000 years of being in 3D. So our bodies are taxed. Our bodies are thinking, WTF, right? We don't get it. The pressure, the energy load, the ascension all makes us tired. So you have to maybe you got to take an extra nap every day. Right? I know Spirit says, give yourself a freaking break. Give yourself a break. Give yourself a Kit Kat bar, right? Works for me. Right? But again, you're conscious, right? Why am I so sleepy? I got 8 hours of sleep last night, but why in the middle of the day am I sleepy? Because guess what? You don't know what happened over those 8 hours of being asleep. What was downloaded, what was activated, right? Don't know. But it's coming, right? Trusting that it's coming, whatever it is going to be good, right? Because the more ascended you become, the less negative things happen to you. There ain't nothing that can touch you because you're way up here, right? Raising your vibration, raising your frequency high enough to get everything that you want. And don't let anybody tell you that you can have what you want, because that's a lie. Anything you want, you can have. You just have to raise your vibration high enough where it can find you. Like Spirit talks to females all the time, and some men, but mostly females, about when am I going to meet my man? When am I going to meet my guy? Well, guess what? When you get out of the bottom feeders. When you stop living down here, not even looking down here, if you have to raise your vibration, raise your frequency, so the good men who have done work, who are as balanced as they can be, being guys, are here. You got to raise up to so he can find you, because he's not looking down there to pull your butt up. That's not what he wants. Too much drama, too much emotion, too much baggage. I'm not doing that stuff. It's with anything. Want a new job? Raise your vibration. Want money, a new house, a new car? Raise your vibration. It's easier to talk to Spirit from up here than it is from a place down here. It truly is. Because when you're down here, you are thick in 3D. I can talk all day long, and that's fine and that's dandy. They'll still hear me. But are they willing to pull my butt out of 3D to give me what I want? No. It's not their job. It's my job, your job, to do all the work. To do all that you can do to allow yourself to ascend. Key there's allow. They're not going to save you, Spirit says. That's not their job. But they can make your life difficult until you finally go, okay, Spirit, what the I don't get it. I don't understand why it has to be so hard. Well, pull your head out of your you know what, and let's start working on some stuff. Get rid of that energy. Get rid of that baggage. Forgive all the people that hurt you when you were a child, right? Forgive yourself, right? Blake, you have to be your own champion. You have to. You have to be your own champion, right? Is it easy? No, it freaking sucks. But guess what happens? We all have it inside of us. We all have it inside of us. And we give it to our children instead of taking it away. We can't take our children's power away. We send them powerless into the world. To college, to a job, to a marriage, with children. And all they know is to take is this is what my mom and dad did to me. I take all my children's power away because I know better than they do. No, you don't. You got even boundaries. You want to keep them so they don't get hurt. Protection and things like that, right? You don't have to take their power away. You can't beat it out of them. Some try. Can't slap it out of them. Some try. All you're doing is hurting your children for the future. Being conscious that if that's who you are, that was done to you. Doesn't make you your champion. How can your children be? How can you teach your children to be their champion? Right? You can't. Why is there so much distress in the world right now? Why is there so many people who think they can't? Because their parents and society took their power away. Didn't empower them to be the best they could possibly be. With love and affection and nurturing. Not only by their parents, one parent, two parents, whatever. By the family or by society. You know. Eventually we're going to take care of everybody like we're supposed to. As we move out of 3D into 4D into 5D. Okay? Because that's what society is all about. Taking care of each other in a positive, balanced, loving way. Yeah. See? Because understanding, right, guys? How were we taught? How are those other people taught? The disadvantaged, the poor, the homeless, white, black, brown. Doesn't matter. Human's human. Hi, Kathy. And if we're taught what way we're taught, and they're taught worse or less or different than we are, or not taught at all, it's the same thing. But we cannot turn our backs on those other people who are struggling, who are doing the things that they only know how to survive, as all of us do, right? How many of you struggle with living? Because most of us are in survival mode most of the time. Because that's what we learned from our parents. Why? Because they took our power away. Right? So, I hope that helps some people. It was a great hour. And you got any questions, let me know. I'm doing readings all next week. I do readings every day except for Sunday. Okay? So if you want to know what the heck's going on in your life, BillHobart.com. Okay? And this will be on YouTube later today. So if you don't see this now, you'll see it there. Also, subscribe to my channel, please, and like all my videos. Okay? It helps to build my thing. I forget what it's called. Okay? Biorhythms or something like that. Yeah, support me, will you? It'd be great. I know you all do, and I love you so very much. I love everybody who I do readings for. I love all the people that follow Coaching for the Soul. I truly love what I do. And so if you guys ever need anything, reach out, let me know. Text me, call me, right? I don't want anybody to feel like they're not alone, that they're not loved, because we all have stuff, right? We all need things we need. We need things we need, right? So thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining me, Coaching for the Soul, Thursdays at 3. And I will be next week. We'll do the same thing on Thursday.